If you guys head over to Tesla Canada website right now, you'll notice that there is a new rear-wheel drive Model Y available for purchase. Now this just isn't any Model Y. This is a Model Y shipped all the way from China over to Canada on a freighter for days or weeks before it arrived on the ports for you guys to pick it up. Now you guys might be asking why, and pun intended, yeah, why? There is a really good explanation to all this. Now, this is very similar to why Tesla released it for a brief period 2 years ago. The Model Y rear-wheel drive was available for you to purchase, and then just roughly 2 weeks later, Tesla decided to pull it off the shelves, and that really shook things up because there were a lot of people waiting for this vehicle. Now, flash forward 2 years later, and now we're here today, and the federal government is giving us incentives to purchase vehicles that qualify for this rebate. Now the Model 3 definitely qualified for it because it reached that threshold. However, the Model Y never reached it and never really qualified for any of its trim levels. But before we get into all the details of what we should be expecting with this newer vehicle, let's talk about what happened years ago with the previous models. So now looking 2 years back, they've decided that they would pull the standard range Model 3 off the shelves after only being available for 2 weeks, and a lot of people were extremely frustrated. Elon put out a statement on Twitter saying that the range was unacceptably low and that it wasn't Tesla's standard to provide a vehicle with less than 250-mile ranges. But then here's the thing, they released a vehicle this year to Canada once again, and the range is literally on par with what it was 2 years back. So you guys might be extremely confused why Tesla would decide to do this again, and here I'm going to explain that reasoning. They are taking on a tactic of what they similarly did to the Model 3 SR. Now we're not talking about the SR Plus or the SR that was available in the United States. We are talking about the dumbed down version for Canada just to get into the regulation rebates. Now if you guys don't live in North America and have no clue what I'm talking about, this is the under 100-mile range vehicle, and it was specifically only for Canada. So this vehicle can maybe take you from your house down to the end of the road and back maybe a couple times before it runs out of battery. Is just not usable at all, and this was a vehicle just to get its way into the rebate program. It was to ensure that the next vehicle up was going to get the federal incentive as well. So you guys are probably getting the hint by now why Tesla is deciding to release the Model Y SR once again. Now it's definitely not on the same level as the Model 3 SR with a 100-mile range. This is going to be the full-fledged 400-kilometer range, and that's going to be approximately 250 miles for you guys living down south. You're not going to be missing any of the features that you would lose from the Model 3s, but these are one of the Model Ys that are just there to make sure that the other vehicles are going to fall in that threshold. Now it's not all bad. There is one improvement to this, and it's the fact that this is a Chinese-made Model Y, and that means that there's going to be a lot of things which I'll be talking about shortly after this. But the fact that it has an LFP battery chemistry, that means that you're going to be able to charge from 0 to 100% every single time that you want to. There's going to be no more of that trip bar versus that daily commute bar. You're going to be able to charge it all the time to 100% and not affect the car whatsoever. So in a way, switching to this Model Y SR, you're going to be getting 400 kilometers of range each and every single day if you want that to be. Whereas the previous nickel battery Model Ys, you're going to be able to charge up to 80% only each day. That means that you're just going to get roughly about the same anyways. But here, the biggest win for the Canadian Model Y SR is the fact that it is now going to open up the opportunity for the long range to fall within that incentive threshold. So to sum things up, as long as Tesla has an SUV model within the trim that is less than $60,000, the next one up is going to be qualifying as well. Now keep in mind, it's pretty big in Canada because it's not simply just the $5,000 rebate from the federal government, but each province has their own rebate as well. And in certain parts like BC and Quebec, you're getting up to another $7,000 off. So it is really, really big. Now on top of everything, we do have this vehicle being made from China. That means that you're going to be getting much more quality parts. The overall fit and finish is going to be a lot nicer, and one thing is probably guaranteed is the fact that you're going to get rear glass glass lamination as well. Now, if you guys aren't aware, the rear glass lamination I'm talking about is the double pane glass. The ones up front where you guys typically see on the driver and passenger fronts, they are double paned and laminated in the middle, whereas the back is just a simple piece of glass. So the sound insulation and acoustics are not going to be as nice when you crank the music up and you try to drown out all the sounds from outside. This has been my biggest pet peeve with the Model Y. It just sounds so loud when I'm driving on the highway, and I really wish that we do have all double pane glass throughout the vehicle. At this time of recording, it seems like only vehicles in Europe and China do have a double pane glass throughout the entire vehicle, and I don't know what the holdup is for the US made vehicles, but Fremont and Texas is still producing vehicles up to this date that only have this single pane glass. So yeah, lots of advantages all around. There are some disadvantages of owning a rear wheel drive, but like I said, this is going to be one of those models that are gonna benefit a lot of people who want to get into the Tesla family, and they weren't able to do it because of their budget or the value or the cost of the vehicle was way too high. Anyways guys, this should wrap it up for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. This is John once again. Peace out.